It's the Chris and Chris show. On today's show, Vegas steals 2 points and leaves Minnesota empty-handed. What a road trip! And a look ahead at April. Don't go away.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's the Chris and Chris edition of Locked On Vegas Golden Knights. We are coming to you 15 minutes after the end of an absolute wacky, bonkers, crazy Vegas Golden Knights Minnesota Wild game. You can check Locked On Vegas, or you can check out Locked On Vegas Golden Knights Monday through Friday on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. Saturday is the Chris and Chris exclusive on YouTube. Let's dive right into this game, Chris. All right, I'm going to talk just about the scoring, and I'm going to get the fluff out of the way, and then we're going to get the reaction in a second, okay? So no scoring. Vegas is kind of hanging out in this one, right? The Wild were definitely making a push. And the Golden Knights, this kind of felt like the trap game. They had that big victory against the Jets. They got a huge game against the Vancouver Canucks on Tuesday night. This is the game where everything could have fallen apart. Jack Eichel gets assessed a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for spearing Kirill Kaprizov. We'll break that down in a little bit. As a result of that penalty, Kaprizov is the one who gets the first goal of the game for the Minnesota Wild. Golden Knights were hanging out in this one. Logan Thompson stopping anything and everything, using his head, using his arms, his pads, everything he could. We'll see if he comes out of this game healthy or not, but Logan Thompson kept the Golden Knights in it. Mike Amadio gets the game-tying goal with just over 6 minutes remaining. Beautiful pass from Chandler Stevenson, but an even better pass from Alec Martinez. This game would head to overtime. A lot of us were talking on Twitter and X. Would the Minnesota Wild pull their goalie in overtime to go for it all? The answer is yes. And what happened, Chris? You tell me what happened in overtime.
So, first, during old overtime, Wild got many scoring chances. Then they pulled their goalie in when stuff got interesting. Now, when we're watching on ESPN, I saw the replay when they assassinated the Preds, and with pulling goalie, and then you pull this goalie. It'd be better if they pulled Fleury. Had like 2 scoring chances until someone got out. Carlson made shut up, Tony! Carlson made the pass to Marchessault, getting his 40th goal of the season, almost breaking Carlson's record.
If there's one thing that made Tony happy about that goal, it was the fact that it's one step closer to breaking William Karlsson's record. So, crazy game. Something I said, and you never want the Golden Knights to be without Jack Eichel, injury or being thrown out of a game or anything else. But something I did say is once Eichel did get ran from the game, I felt that the Golden Knights would become a little more engaged in the game. They would just kind of tidy things up and also have some motivation, right? It's very questionable if that should have gone down as a spear or not. And let's be clear about this by the letter of the law. When you take your stick blade, particularly the top of your stick, and you jab it at somebody, if you don't make contact, it's a 4-minute double minor. If you make contact, it is a 5-minute major plus a game misconduct. If you make contact and injure somebody, it's a match penalty. The NHL reviewed the call against Eichel and held up the original call on the ice, which meant Jack Eichel will be thrown out of the game. Watch the replay, folks. A lot of people are angry about this. I've spent the last hour fighting with every single one of you who felt this should not have been a spear. Jack takes the blade of his stick. I don't have the tape. Jack takes the blade of his stick and jabs it at Kaprizov because he was pissed off that Kaprizov cross-checked him earlier. It was a retaliatory play. Eichel did not put himself in the best position there. Eichel left himself compromised, if you will, for the refs to interpret that as a spear. Now, some people are saying maybe a high stick, maybe a slash, maybe they could have gone somewhere else with that call. Fine, whatever. But once the call on the ice is a spear, all they're checking to see is if the call, if it's going to be upheld or not, or if it would have been lowered. But you can't lower that down to a minor. So that's the spear. That's my take on it. I want to skip right past the spear now and talk about Logan Thompson. Chris, talk about Logan Thompson. Tell me about Logan Thompson. That game.
Well, first, about the sphere or whatever it's called.
Spear. We have a sphere in Vegas. This was a spear. The sphere is where U2 plays.
Anyways, so at first I didn't even see it, and when I heard a penalty, I was like, oh great, just a random penalty. But then,
right. No big deal so far.
But then when I heard, but then when I heard the rest say 5 minutes, I was surprised. You were surprised.
Yes.
Eichel was surprised.
Well, here's why I was surprised, Chris. Here's why. Well, Kaprizov embellished the crap out of that. Let's be clear about this, but that's his job to do that. Kaprizov got one over on the Golden Knights and Jack Eichel. Give him a hand. Well done, Kaprizov. You won that round right there. Now, what I was surprised about, Chris, is the fact that not that the call. Well, I was mad actually because you got a major penalty called, and ESPN continues their history of remarkable broadcasting and cuts away to a commercial instead of giving it a second and telling people what happened. So that's what had me more upset. Once I watched it and learned more about the rule and everything, I'm fine with the call. But Logan Thompson, that's what I wanted you to talk about. Tell me about Logan and how amazing he is. Now, here's one thing I'll tell you, Chris, right now. When I was getting the show ready, you see on the side there, our topics right there. Our last show, we said, does the net belong to Logan Thompson? That was 1 week ago. So I want to start by asking you right now, does the net belong to Logan Thompson?
Until Hill's back, yes.
You think Aiden Hill's pushing Logan Thompson out of the net?
Well, one, of course, Hill's on. Is he on LCIR?
No.
So, of course, that Hill's played more games than LT.
No. No. Aiden has played. I'm watching this closely because I've been telling people in the offseason that Logan was going to get more starts than Aiden Hill this year, and I'm right. Logan's appeared in now 41 games to Aiden Hill's 32. Keep going.
So he played.
I'm chirpy today, buddy. I'm chirpy. You better bring it because I'm on something right now. So you better be with me today. Let's go. Let's go.
Of course, Hill was starting more games than LT during that time.
You're referencing the 5 starts in a row that Aiden Hill got when Logan didn't win 2 weeks without playing. You're correct. Go ahead. You're good.
And now that Hill's gone, for now, I believe right now that does belong to Thompson. But when Hill gets back, maybe give it a few games, maybe like give him like 2 more starts with Hill backuping, and then Hill go and see how he plays, and then take it from there.
We don't know what Aiden Hill's timeline is right now. Let's just assume for a second. Let's just make some assumptions right now. Golden Knights have 3 weeks of hockey left between the playoffs. 3 weeks of hockey left. Let's assume Aiden Hill is ready to return to the team the week of April the 8th. That's 6 games between then and the playoffs. I don't think there is anything Aiden Hill can do down the stretch besides hope, and he's not hoping. But, Chris, I don't think there's anything that Aiden Hill can do down the stretch to take the net back from Logan unless Logan were to completely fall apart. Logan Thompson starting game 1 of the playoffs. Agree or disagree?
Depending how long this injury is. So
we're assuming Logan comes back in a week. We're assuming Aiden comes back in 1 week. Who's the game 1 playoff starter?
I have to say Hill. But
Wrong.
If he comes back on the 8th, we'll actually be playing Vancouver in the run. If I'm right, his next game will start actually against the Wild. Against the Wild in Vegas. Friday the week after the Arizona game that we'll be at.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that. We'll definitely have some good on-site reporting. So, other notes about the game, I did mention the William Karlsson assists. Again, that's just fun to talk about. Pietrangelo, his first game back in a week, reportedly out to an illness that possibly rhymes with COVID. We'll see how he responds as things continue for Pietrangelo. Looking at his stat line from today's game, Bruce Cassidy made a comment that he himself holds himself accountable to. When a player is cleared medically to come back into the lineup, they're back. They're clear. He does not manage minutes whatsoever. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm simply saying once you're in Bruce Cassidy's lineup, you go right back into your old role. Pietrangelo +2 on the game. 23 minutes, 11 seconds of ice time. Played 2 minutes, 53 seconds of penalty kill, shorthanded time. There's one thing to knock about Petro today. Unfortunately, I think it was his little nudge that drew a goaltender interference penalty that left Logan Thompson temporarily dazed and confused. But listen, Petro comes back. He's not the most fun player to watch, Chris. He's not the most exciting. He's not the fastest. He doesn't pass the best. He doesn't shoot the best. But he chews up minutes, especially in the most stressful of circumstances. So full credit to Alex Pietrangelo for everything he did today, and it's good to have him back. Chris, do you have anything else about this game you want to talk about?
So about the first goal that Vegas scored.
Okay.
Mike Mario from Chandler and Stevenson, then from Alec Martinez. That's goal you don't see often. That's what you don't see often.
Well, it was really nice because Martinez had the vision of the ice to make that stretch pass. Martinez is a very good passer. Martinez is I won't say immaculate. I haven't used that word around the Golden Knights in a while, but Martinez is a very good passer. And without that pass, that goal doesn't happen. We're possibly talking about a different outcome here. So last thing to talk about, Minnesota Wild pull the goalie for the second time this season in overtime. It worked out once, didn't work out the second time. Do you think, Chris, given the Minnesota Wild's playoff circumstances, the fact that they need 2 points in this game, do you think it was the right decision to pull the goalie, yes or no?
Well, we're a way tougher team than the Prince. We're a way tougher team.
Say that again for the people in the back. Say that again for Wayne, for Wayne D in Nashville. Say it a little bit louder. Say that louder. Go ahead. The Golden Knights are a tougher team than
Nashville.
Okay. Say it louder.
Nashville.
Okay. Golden Knights are a tougher team than the Nashville Predators. Keep going.
So of course they haven't lost in OT in a while. So pulling their goalie is, I think, a good way to keep up, and try to score. But we're both pretty even. So I think it's pretty dangerous. I think it's pretty risky. But somehow they managed to pull off against Nashville, but Nibel pull off against us.
So here's my take on that. Logan Thompson, he's a really good goalie in shootouts. Really good goalie in shootouts. So I think that is a reason why you might. I'm sure there's some analytics that determine if the game is better in Minnesota's favor, if it goes into a shootout or not. I don't know. I don't think the coach of the Wild honestly cared. I think he took a chance, and 1 point means nothing right now. Like the Wild aren't going to. I mean, maybe they will, but I don't think the Wild are going to miss the playoffs by 1 point. That would take a big collapse by the Golden Knights or the Nashville Preds or the LA Kings at this point right now. So I like the action. I like the gamble. We're in Vegas. Why the heck not, right? All right, buddy. What are we going to talk about next? How about that road trip? How about that road trip where the Golden Knights came into their most important road trip of the season? How about that road trip where they just got 7 out of 8 points against 4 very tough opponents, either in the playoffs or clinging to the playoffs? What do you think about that, buddy?
Yeah, St. Louis isn't really very tough, but well,
they were in the playoff hunt on Monday, buddy. On Monday, they were in the playoff hunts.
Well, anyways, let's start with that. Going back all the way to the Seattle game,
the home game or the road game?
Home game.
Okay.
We've won. So far we got 2, 4, 6.
So we're gonna talk. You want to talk about the game on Thursday, the 21st? Okay.
9. We've had.
Oh, you're doing a winning streak right now. I like this.
We've had 11 points since we've lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. We have not lost a game in regulation since the Tampa Bay Lightning. Since we lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Do you see any type of correlation in that time, Chris? Is there what's clicking right now? Is it the fact that the Golden Knights are getting healthier? Is it the defense? Is it the goaltending? Is it something with Cassidy? Why do you think the Golden Knights just had this amazing road trip? And why are they on all of a sudden a heater? Why are the Golden Knights on a heater right now, Chris? Tell us. What do you think?
Well, every reason but the Cassidy part. Every reason but the Cassidy part. Well, one, I don't really pay attention to him too much than I do to most players. And it's definitely about us getting healthier. We've been getting very, very healthy lately, and now the only players we're really missing is Hurdle and Stone.
We'll carry it too, and we'll see how long that takes to get him back. But yes. That shoulder shrug. Poor Will Carrier. Poor Will Carrier. Poor Will Carrier.
Dorofeev's been getting, especially he's getting really good lately.
That's my guy right there. That's my guy. I love Dora.
Yeah, he's been getting he's been really good lately, and that's obviously a big part of all these wins we've been having. Dorofeev's really improving a lot lately, and now all we're really missing is Stone and Carrier. But the main attraction is Stone. If we can get him back, we'll be unstoppable in the playoffs.
So this road trip, you got the Blues. At the time, I thought the Blues could have closed the gap to like 4 points or something with the Golden Knights if the Blues would have won that game. Obviously, the Golden Knights got that game. Go to Nashville, third period collapse. Unfortunate, but what can you do at this point? Winnipeg Jets, the Golden Knights. It's a close game, but obviously the Golden Knights pulled ahead late and somehow got a couple late empty netters to get things cooking there. Middle of the camera, Chris. Let people see you. And then obviously today's game against the Minnesota Wild. Go back to Logan Thompson for a second. I want to go over his game. I want to go over his save percentages game by game since that absolutely horrendous game against the Buffalo Sabres. Against the New Jersey Devils, 9.52. Against the Kraken, 9.55. Against the Blues, 9.69. Against the Jets, 9.75. Today, against the Minnesota Wild, 9.70. So I'll start with Logan Thompson being the backbone of the team right now, while The team returns to health, Chris. I'll give you 100% of that. Coach Cassidy gets a lot of credit as well. Going back to that Devils game we went to, buddy. If you remember that game we were at, they were talking about on the radio how every single line besides, I think, Hannafin and Haig, all the forwards, all the defensive pairs all got changed. Who's the one who makes that decision? It's Coach Cassidy. Coach Cassidy found a way to turn things around in that game and to get some points. So Cassidy has the right pulse on this team. He's going to guide this team into the right place. On TV during intermission, Kevin Weeks also made a great point about the Golden Knights, and it's the fact that they got the heart of a champion right now. They have the heart of a champion, and on Thursday against the Jets, they had the composure of a champion as that situation got ironed out with Nick Hague, who originally was assessed a major penalty, and then that was reversed down to a minor penalty. So a lot of good for going for the Golden Knights right now, Chris. Is there anything else regarding the road trip and just this little streak right now you want to talk about?
Besides streak, nothing. Oh, yeah, never mind.
So you're good. Okay, let's move forward to April right now, and let's take a look at the April schedule and maybe see if we can start making some projections as to where we think where the dust is going to settle on the season. So today, right now, on March the 30th, the Golden Knights have played 74 games. They're 41, 25, and 8 with 90 points. They trail the Edmonton Oilers by 4 points, who crushed the Anaheim Ducks today. Unfortunate for the Golden Knights. Canucks 98 points, Oilers 94 points, Golden Knights 90 points, and have moved ahead of the Los Angeles Kings by 3 points. And the St. Louis Blues with 82 points are actually the next closest team as far as the wild card chase goes. So here's a question for you, buddy, right now. Golden Knights trail the Oilers by 4 points. They trail the Canucks by 8 points. When you look at this schedule, the Golden Knights have 8 games remaining. Can the Golden Knights climb up one more position in the Pacific Division to have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs? Can that happen?
Well, one, I think they can pass away. I think LA can pass
LA, Golden Knights already passed LA.
Really?
We're talking about Vancouver with 98, Edmonton with 94, Vegas with 90 points. LA is 3 points behind Vegas right now.
I say we can maybe pass LA.
On a scale of LA's passed already. We're looking up at Edmonton and Vancouver. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it ain't happening, bro. 10, it's happening, bro. Scale 1 to 10. Can the Golden Knights climb up somewhere in the standings? Climb one more position in the standings.
4% chance they can pass the Oilers. 1% chance they can pass Vancouver.
So you're on a scale of 1 to 10, so it's actually a 40% chance, but that's okay. So you think you think there's a reasonable chance to climb one spot, getting 2 spots and winning the Pacific? Highly unlikely. That's what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the games really fast. Home against Vancouver, away in Arizona. We'll be there, so they're going to win that game. Away in Vancouver, away in Edmonton, a very tough 3-game road trip. And then back home for 4 straight games. 2 really, well, we'll see. Minnesota might still have playoff life in that game. I doubt it, but that could be a game where at least Minnesota's looking to get some payback. Then the Golden Knights have a Sunday matinee against the Avalanche. Then they wrap up against the Ducks and the Hawks, buddy. So let's look at this for a second. 8 games. If the Golden Knights win 6 of these games, which I think is reasonable, I think the Golden Knights can win 6 of these last 8 games. Arizona is a game I think that's a pretty safe one to win. Chicago and Anaheim, I think those are safe. Minnesota, I think that's pretty safe right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 games right there. All they got to do is go 50, 500 in the other 4 games. If the Golden Knights, Chris, beat the Canucks twice, that's only a 4-game spread between the Golden Knights and the Canucks, who are without Thatcher Demko, their best goalie, for another week and a half. So I said this on Friday's Locked On. I said that the Golden Knights will be mathematically alive to win the Pacific Division with 3 games remaining in the season. I think there's a chance in the last week of the season, the Golden Knights have a chance to win, to possibly win the Pacific Division. Is that likely or unlikely, Chris? Is Daddy off the rails or am I onto something? What do you think?
Unlikely.
Okay. No
Ain't
faith,
happening.
buddy. No faith. It ain't happening. I don't know. I think I've been around this team for a little bit, fan, media, whatever I am right now. And I know when this team is about to pop. And this team is about to pop and go on some type of streak right now. So anyone likes to bookmark random YouTube podcasters and you want to tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm right, this is the clip to watch right now. The Golden Knights are going to win 6 of the last 8 games of the regular season, putting them at 102 points for the season. Which, listen, Vancouver Canucks would only need 5 points to win the Pacific Division if the Golden Knights do get 202 points. So the likelihood of competing and winning the division, it's not there. It's small. It's small. But I think Vancouver is going to slow down a little bit, and Vegas is going to take off. Edmonton, who knows? I mean, they're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games, just like the Golden Knights. So we'll see if Edmonton falters. But Edmonton still has 2 games in hand on the Golden Knights. So we'll see. I think the Golden Knights get to the 100-point mark. I feel confident about that. What do you say about April, Chris? There's 8 games. What's the Golden Knights' record in these last 8 games? The locks of the month right now. Here's the locks of the month.
8-0.
I'm taking 12 points. I'm taking 12 points in the end of the month right now.
8-0, 16 points.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I'm wrong. My math is wrong. Hold on a second. Calm down, everybody. Relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 8 games left. Oh, yeah, so we're right. Okay, no, my math is right. So you just said the Golden Knights are going to go 8-0 in April. 8-0. So Chris is putting it out there, guys. Little Chris is saying the Golden Knights are going to wrap this up on a 10-game winning streak, and the Golden Knights will finish with 110 points. They're going to get 16. The Golden Knights are going to finish with 106. Geez, I cannot do math today. 106 points. Little Chris is putting it out there. I'm saying Golden Knights are going to get 102 points wrap up this season. We'll see where that shakes things out in the playoffs. But last question, Chris. Are the Golden Knights back?
Right now, yes. Who knows what's going to happen in April, but right now, it's a yes.
No, you know what's going to happen in April, bro. You just said they're gonna win 8 games in a row.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
You know what's happening in April. Yeah. There we go. Golden Knights are back. I'm with Chris. I think they're back. There's been a lot of things to like about the last 2 weeks about this team. A lot to like about the last week of this team. So Golden Knights are back. The rest of the NHL is on notice. Oh, yeah. And they're going to get Hurdle back sometime in the next week to week and a half. Oh, good things are happening. All right, we're done. Everybody, thank you so much for checking out the hyped up, amped up, exciting Saturday afternoon edition.
But I still had one more thing about the Anaheim game.
Which Anaheim game?
About the
last game of the year.
Yeah.
This better be good, bro. You interrupted me. I had a really good close working there, and you just took it off the rails. So this better be good.
So, of course, we won the 3rd game of the season against Anaheim to keep the 3rd of the 7-game road trip going. But both times on the road were absolutely terrible games against Anaheim. There were 2 terrible games that Vegas looked horrible in.
Well, it's a good thing this game's at home.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close overtime game.
It can be. I mean, listen, teams that are playing for nothing, they can be a tough out. And especially if the entire league is counting on the Ducks to do something, they'll bring their best game. They got nothing to lose. You got rookies playing for jobs and stuff. So you're not wrong, Chris. It definitely could happen. All right, now we're done on this fun, goofy Saturday afternoon edition of Locked On Vegas Golden Knights. Please make sure to check out the Locked On Vegas Golden Knights podcast Monday through Friday, anywhere you get your podcast and on YouTube. That's me and the almighty Tony Cordasco. And then Saturday is, of course, as you just watched, the Chris and Chris YouTube exclusive edition of Locked On VGK. Big thank you and shout out to the everydayers who check us out Monday through Friday. An even bigger shout out and thank you to the super everydayers who give us some time on the weekend. Have a great one, everybody. And Golden Knights hockey season going to April. It's getting exciting. Take care.